But we have just run into a big problem, guys. This dirt or oil or whatever is on my Wolverine now, and I had no clue where it came from. Oh god, it's not even my Wolverine. I'm gonna be in so much trouble. But yeah, so I was trying desperately to figure out where this black grime was coming from, and it came from the port right here. So see, that's where it came from, and I just smeared it all over that Wolverine's bodysuit, and I don't know if there's a way to clean it. It's not a good look, because I got it all over my hands while I was trying to get that in, and now it is on the Wolverine. Yeah, that's not good. That's really not good. Hello friends and enemies. Today should be interesting because we are looking at Mezco's 112 Collective Wolverine. And it's going to be interesting for a few reasons. One is that my camera really hates the color yellow. Another reason this is going to be an interesting review is because the other half of Team Weekly Allowance ordered this, and I actually have no clue what's included in it. I know there's going to be a Wolverine, I know it's a Mezco, and that's about it. Everything else is, well, it's limitless. And I also know it will have dog hair on it because my dog sheds everywhere. Unfortunately, ours is dented because postal office hates us. The box was kind of crumpled and everything. I think that's the kind of thing you probably could complain about to someone who matters. Get it fixed, maybe, or just get angry about it. So, as you can see, it comes in a tin style packaging. I wouldn't say lunchbox style because there's no handle, but it is a tin and it's very nice. Really appealing bright yellow and blue Wolverine on the front. Got another really cool illustration on the side there. X-Man logo on the other side. That same illustration on the bottom repeats on the top and I believe on the back. Yeah, ooh, I have it upside down. Wolverine, he'll slice ya. That's his tagline, isn't it? Age 15 and up, not a toy for children. If you give this toy to a child, their bones will be replaced with adamantium, and I hear that is painful. Alright, so let's open it up. Is stuff gonna fall out when I do this? Maybe. That's half the fun. Of course, I knew it was going to have just a metric ton of stuff, and it's being proven. Everything is a bit hard to see, as it usually is when it's covered in plastic. So let's pull this out. Oh, what is this? What is that? Is that a Sentinel? Destroyed Sentinel? Some kind of, like, extra base? And batteries? What's going on here? I really have no idea. I don't know what is all in this. So we'll get through it together. Of course, like all Mezco offerings, it looks very well made. There is a bit of a chip in the paint here, and I'm sorry if it's hard to see. A little chip. It kind of looks like a single tear coursing down the crease of his eye. Single tear because he's sad, because his life is hard. And I'm not making fun of him. He has had a hard life. He's also a fictional character, so I feel like I could make fun of him if I wanted, and it would be alright. It is recognizable as Wolverine. You've got the yellow and the blue, the flap flaps, the gloves, more flap flaps on the boots. It strikes a nice profile. Of course, we've got the Mezco spandex bodysuit thingy, and that's covering up what I believe is probably maybe a new body. Wolverine is notoriously short, so he does look a little stockier than their other characters, but it's been a while since I played with a Mezco, so I'm not sure if this is a new body. As for articulation, you know it's going to be very ranged. I want to say there's movement at the neck because this cut is indicative of that, but there isn't really. There's a tiny bit. Maybe if I could force it, I could get it more, but I really don't want to force it because this is not my toy. I tend to be pretty delicate with things, especially if they don't belong to me, which you should be. But yeah, it's Mezco, so you've got nice movement. I really appreciate the fact that the arms aren't overly muscled. I know that Wolverine is known for being obscenely muscled, huge hairy arms, but it's a little toned down here, and I prefer that, actually. Some people might not like the fact that his muscles are tiny bit toned down, which they're still crazy ripped, so you shouldn't have a problem, but yeah, I like that. The tiny detail of the hair on his arm is really nice. They did not go overboard with that. Really smooth double elbow joint. And it transitions really nicely too. It looks good. It doesn't look awkward. Maybe a little awkward from below, but I mean, what are you going to pose him doing? Sleeping like this. So you're not really going to see that. Internal movement is going to be limited a little bit by the bodysuit. I'd say a little bit, but actually a lot. So there's a twist in there, but you can't get very far. Nice kind of pleathery material for the what would you call this, underpants? You got the same issue in the legs. The bodysuit does not want to move with them, and you do have to be careful because we have had some Mezco fabric fray a little bit when you try and get more movement out of it than it's allowed for. But the knee can go pretty far without any problems. Nice smooth movement on the knee, can arc out, and he's got no problem standing up. I say that, now he wants to fall down because that's my luck. But he is a shorter, stockier character, nothing really to hold him down. He's not top heavy, so that is good for stabilization. Also got a really cool pattern on the bottom of his shoes. Can you see that? Maybe not, I don't know. So his shoulder pads are on these hinges, so they can move up and out of the way of any arm poses you're going to do. They're also a little bit rubbery, giving you extra leeway. You can see here on the inside that hinge. Okay, so I know we breezed through the Wolverine figure, but that's because he comes with a lot of stuff, so we need to look at that too. Starting off, he comes with a ton of heads. So many heads, all the heads you could ever want. He's got an extra head in the style of the one that's already on the figure, except this one has a snarl. His lip is curled, his teeth are showing. Looks very nice. The paint, of course, is beautiful. Another strange paint abnormality in the same place practically as the other head, which is weird, but it's very faint, so it's okay. We've got two unmasked heads. They're in a little bit of different styles, or maybe it's just that this one is more feral than this one. This one's like a civilized kind of look. This one might be a Weapon X kind of look. Maybe he's just got done going berserk and killing a bunch of people, or maybe he's been lost in the woods for a few days. You know, whatever. But this one is definitely a little more deranged. Very nice hair sculpt. So these look excellent. This mask almost completely covers the eyes, unlike the other one. The texture on the flat flaps, it's really nice. It's like a simulated leather almost. So that's an option if you do not want to go with the head that was already on him. You've got this feral screaming head. Always amazed by how tiny the mouths are on these things, and that looks fantastic. But my favorite is this one. He is really beat up. He is wounded to the bone, temporarily because he can heal. And since his bones are metal, there's metal showing. Damage looks great. I feel like he could be a little bit more bloody, but he does heal really quickly, so yeah. Got some hair showing through. That's his scalp. Pretty gnarly. Tiny little teeth. Paint is great. Looks awesome. And so you've also got this cowl, which I guess he could hold in his hand with one of the unmasked heads attached. A little rubbery, so you should be able to slip it in between his fingies. Speaking of fingies, there are a lot. Grabby hands, pointy hand, more grabby hand, metal claw fist, grabby metal claw hand, and even bone claw hand before the adamantium. Or maybe the adamantium, something happened, whatever. We've also got this belt that you can replace on him, I guess to replicate a more classic outfit. Take that buckle off, you can replace it with this one. It's X-Men branded, X-Men approved. It doesn't want to peg in though. Might have to work at that a little bit. And how will you put this on him? Does it open? There we go. Yeah, so it will open right there. It might open on this other side too. Or is that just a hinge? Might just be a hinge. Yeah, but this buckle does not really want to stay on. And I had no idea what this was until I looked at the instructions, and it is the Eye of the Sentinel base. So it goes with that. And we'll look at that in a second. So in addition, you have all these cool claw effects, and according to the instructions, they can be placed in either the left or the right hands, depending on where certain slots are. So that's pretty neat. They might be a little hard to see, but they are clear plastic, just to kind of replicate that comic book slashy effect. They are very sharp, so be careful with that. This is why you don't want to give it to children, because I guess a child would maybe poke their eyes out. I was a child once, but I never poked my eyes out. So the last claw effect we get is this really neat X-shaped one. You know, because X-Men. And according to the instructions, these all plug in together into his claws in a certain way, which hopefully won't be too difficult for my little pea brain. So, of course, you've got your typical Mezco stand. Nice design on the top. The peg can be punched out and replaced with this dealie, but as we saw earlier, he comes with this bad boy. So you've got a ruined sentinel head, a slain enemy that can be used as your base, and I think that is just fantastic. So I believe to get Wolverine onto this thing, you're going to have to punch this peg out and place it in one of these ports throughout his body. Or the stand can be placed in any one of these ports. That's what they tell me anyway. There we go. Yeah. So you could do that, or you could just go with the foot peg. I worry about that though, because I wonder if it would be difficult to get back out. But it would probably make for a more immersive scene than using this thing. And my fingers are so weak. I can't even punch this out because I'm so weak. Yeah, I've always had trouble with these stands. Like, punching out the foot peg is not something I can do. I'm just too weak. I'm gonna admit it. I'm not proud. I know my limitations. So we're gonna have to stick with the acrylic rod for now. But this thing also comes with batteries, so I guess it lights up. It's the best. It's the best. Never heard of this battery before in my life. Let me find a screwdriver and we will pop these in. Alright, camera a little bit so that we can look down on him or her. I guess the Sentinels don't have a gender because they're a robot. Alright, so switch it on. Then I think to get the effect, you press this button on the chest. And so this red eye lights up and this eye back here flickers. To stop it, just press it again. So if you don't want the effect, plug his other eye back in, hopefully in a way that makes sense and not just willy-nilly like I did, because there's a certain way it has to go in. So there we go. I don't even know if that is correct, but it looks good enough. I mean, he's a beaten up robot. So then if you press the power button again, just this eye is going to glow. His chest glows a little bit too. I just now noticed that. It's a little hard to see. I think you have to turn off all your lights to kind of get the effect. Ooh, spooky. Hey guys, it's dark. Have a slumber party. There we go. But of course, if it's gonna be this dark, you won't be able to see the figure. But that is a really cool effect. I love the flicker of the eye, the pulse of this chest power source, the one glowing red eye, and it's very spooky. So I'm going to turn the lights back on. So if you wanted to, you could have Wolverine on the base holding this ripped out eye. Let's switch him out a little bit. I want this head, because it's my favorite. Get some claw action. Which way do hands go? I think this is right. Mezco pegs, pretty small, so be careful. Ooh, did you hear my stomach? Growled. I haven't eaten today. I'm bad about that. Sometimes I just go all day without eating until dinner, and that is not healthy, guys. Don't do that. Oh, he looks cool. Okay, full disclosure, it's not that I'm not a fan of Wolverine, I never really got that much into X-Men. So a Wolverine toy isn't really something that I personally would seek out, but this one looks pretty awesome. It looks amazing. Let's see if we can figure out these claw effects. And of course you can do better with the posing on this than I have right here, but I just wanted to see how the claw effects fit. They do warp a little bit on the sides, some of them. You might be able to straighten that out with some heat. But yeah, it looks cool. It's a cool effect, and it's pretty easy to set up, at least with this one. Yeah, they've got these holes in them on the bottom that the claws just kind of ease into, and they're pretty sturdy. They fit pretty well. And once again, I'm sorry that my weak little fingies can't push out that little nub peg, so we're going to have to use the acrylic rod, even though the peg would probably be a lot better display-wise. But I just want to see how he looks on this Sentinel. But we have just run into a big problem, guys. This dirt or oil or whatever is on my Wolverine now, and I had no clue where it came from. Oh god, it's not even my Wolverine. I'm gonna be in so much trouble. But yeah. So, I was trying desperately to figure out where this black grime was coming from, and it came from the port right here next to the on button for the Sentinel. So see, That's where it came from, and I just smeared it all over that Wolverine's bodysuit, and I don't know if there's a way to clean it. So that is kind of a big deal. Like, I don't know what that is. Is it paint that didn't cure? Is it plastic that didn't cure? Is it oil from the inner machinations of the battery? I don't know, but it's not a good look, because I got it all over my hands while I was trying to get that in, and now it is on the Wolverine. See, it's on the stand on the peg here. Yeah, that's not good. That's really not good. I am going to try and see if I can clean that black gunk off myself and off Wolverine, because it is pretty prominent. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Big problem with not only the ports on the Sentinel stand, but just random areas. I think the paint wash just didn't cure correctly on this, because there's just some areas, see, that have this black gunk, and it got onto the Wolverine figure, unfortunately. It's down here in these ports too. It's just like, it's everywhere. So I am not going to mess around with the Sentinel stand anymore, which is a shame, because that's something I was excited about. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, you can see it just got all over this peg. I managed to get most of it out, but there's definitely still some specks that you can see, so that's a real bummer. But yeah, I just used dish soap and water and kind of dabbed at it, and yeah, no matter how hard I tried, these specks here didn't go away, even though I got rid of most of it. It's just a bummer, you know? It's an expensive toy. To get gunk all over a part of it that can't really be cleaned off is kind of a big deal. So I'm just gonna go ahead and compare him to a few other figures, and that will end our review. So he fits in really well with this Marvel Legends Cyclops. The proportions seem accurate enough. Obviously the Wolverine figure is a little thicker, but he's also built different than Cyclops, so that makes sense. Here he is with another Mezco, the Mezco Iron Man, and that scale definitely makes sense, because you've got an average sized guy and a suit of armor, and you've got Wolverine who's shorter, and they look really good together. And then just for fun, we've got a Mythic Legion skeleton builder, and Raphael. Thought I forgot his name, but I didn't, because he's got the R right there. I know who he is. And he fits in well with them too. I'd hazard a guess to say he'll look good with any figure you pair him with. But if you're getting this figure, if you have it on pre-order or whatever, be careful with that Sentinel stand. We're going to get in touch with Mezco and just like see what they say about it. There might be this issue with other ones going out. I would be very surprised if there wasn't. So you might get lucky and get one that isn't all gunked up, and that's great. Just be careful and make sure, and don't get it on his bright yellow spandex jumpsuit that you can't take off and clean. And that is my warning to you. So I guess there's nothing left to say except thank you for watching. Likes and subscribes are greatly appreciated. Comments are more than welcome. I always answer them eventually, sometimes not right away. Don't let a Sentinel dirty up your Wolverine. And I will see you guys on the next one.